My project in Luby residency started while freediving along the coastline. I held on to the idea that every dive is a cleanup dive as long as you're picking up things that wouldn't add more harm to the marine ecology and wouldn't compromise the safety of your dive or others. At first I was just collecting small pieces of plastic packaging drifting underwater, but one dive led me to a huge abandoned fishing net. Without proper upkeep, however, they become part of the very problem they were meant to prevent, ensnaring marine life and damaging delicate reef ecosystems as they got caught in strong currents and monsoon typhoons. After finding out this incident and reporting it to the residency program, my curator for the project, Nelisa Go, and I agreed that it was important to act first to recover the net before pursuing artistic proposal for residency. We asked assistance from the Davao Gold Divers led by Inigo Taudio. Eventually, the whole process of networks and collaborations become part of the entire project. At the AFP, the discovery of the net became starting point for recruit number 1. I began reshaping parts of the recovered net into coral-like forms, almost as if they were remembering how to grow again, transforming something destructive into a gesture of recovery. I mounted 3 small monitors around the sculpture to show the 3 stages of developing the project: the discovery of the net, the recovery of the net, and the transferring of the recruit to the reef for possible growth and renewal. For the New York Cabinet Space exhibition, I wanted to focus on the form, sculpture itself, and make a massive impression that would still feel right for the small gallery space. I wanted to translate the glimpse of my experience underwater while we were recovering the net from the seabed that seems floating in the mid of the heavy turbidity of the water's visibility. In this installation, the video can be seen separately on the wall while walking around the sculpture. Going back to Luby for the June launch, we installed recruit number 4 with the help of the engineers and the local community of Barangay Pindasan, Mabini, Davao de Oro. It's like a semi-greenhouse or a small sanctuary that could exist both on land or underwater, where plants or even corals could slowly grow on it through time. The spiral form rises from the ground and coils upward, echoing how unseen ocean currents might sweep nets from the surface down to the reefs. It carries the motion of water and the memory of submersion while also reflecting binding gestures that shape the coral-like forms. Through this installation, I tried to capture the bafflement I felt during our underwater dives, recovering the ghost nets, as if they were climbing toward the ceiling, hinting at what happens below the sea. The spiral shape suggests the unseen movement of water, and the binding of the nets, like tending to a wound, becomes a gesture of healing and recovery. The first thing you'll see when you enter the gallery are 2 pieces made of stainless steel wires, wrapped with bits of plastic packaging that I've collected from different types. And there's a video relates closely to the process behind the 2 sculptures. It shows the continuous act of collecting plastic packaging underwater. As the lens moves closer, the image turns darker, almost as if the camera itself is being swallowed by what it's looking at, or perhaps the other way around. It becomes a kind of metaphor for how the things we consume can also consume us. Honestly, I'm not sure where the energy really comes from. Sometimes I'm simply fascinated by what I see along the way. Lately, that energy also comes from the people who helped build the work, the ones I first talked to about what's happening underwater and what we can do about it. Working with a group gives a different kind of strength. What still fascinates me is what I don't fully understand. I keep returning to the same gestures, collecting, mending, tracing, and each time something shifts. The small change, especially when it's shaped by other hands, keeps me curious. At first I was more drawn to the act of recovery, diving, collecting, pulling the nets out of the water. Later, it became about what happens after, how this material transform on land, how people engage with them, how stories continue through the hands that rebuild them. Now I see the work less as an object and more as a process that connects different environments, underwater, dryland, and human. It keeps teaching me the repair isn't a single act, but a shared rhythm that evolves through each encounter.